Hi all, howdy do. John here. I've not been able to be online for a couple of days. We had an ice storm here on the west coast in the northwest, and it took out basically the whole county and mass trees down, really icy conditions. Pretty much had to stay in the house. Got out for a little bit, but I lost power for 48 hours. And thankfully, the power came back on last night or yesterday afternoon at about 2:20. So the house is heated, but I have some friends that came over and got me some wood that they had to cut down trees, and it was a little frozen, but I was able to get to the one store that was open on generators in the whole area and get a few Presto logs and some starter Presto logs, so actually was able to burn some wood. So this is the wood I still have left. But thankfully, I'm the only unit in this complex, in these townhouses that has a real fireplace. So everybody was gone, with friends and neighbors that were helping out. It was pretty daunting, and what was really sad, I lost 3 fish tanks. There was nothing I could do. They were freshwater, and so I'm pretty sad about that. But my cats and I was house sitting for a friend that went to see their daughter in Tennessee, their puppy, and he's doing great. All the cats are doing great, but this is Rugi, and we're fine. So I had to put on vacation all the players that I was playing. I play 20 games at a time, so they're all dailies on chess.com. Love chess.com. And I went and had to hit the vacation button when the power went out. And I had to keep my cell phone alive. I do play on my cell phone. And so I wasn't able to put up content. And I did in chat tell everybody, and I think it's important when you do go on vacation that you let people know that, hey, there's a power outage, ice storm. It got to 29 degrees both nights that we were out of power, and wanted to make sure that they knew. There was a couple players that didn't have chat active, but I'm starting to play again. Started playing last night. I got 2 games that finished while the power was out, and have 2 more that finished last night. So I'll try to put them up. But sorry, there was nothing I could really do. So I'm going to try to get the content back up like I normally do. I usually get games done probably 1 or 2 a day. Even though they're 24-hour games, they usually last a couple days. And so because I play so many games at a time, I can get them up pretty fast. But we're just glad that we're safe and alive, and that everybody in the area is getting power back. The Central Lincoln PUD, hats off to them. They were working 16-hour shifts, and it was massive here on the coast. The ocean is right behind me, so it was something that we never expected. And I've lived here since 2008, and I think the power's gone out for maybe 4 hours, and very rarely, I think maybe 3 or 4 times in since 2008. So when this went down, I got a little cabinet back behind here with wood, and I didn't realize I had no wood. I did get food the day before it happened, so I had water and I had everything else. But boy, that first night, man, no wood, and had like 4 comforters and blankets, and I was wearing 3 sweatshirts, so we got through it. But anyway, just wanted to let you know, back on it. We'll get some really good games up for you, And I hope you enjoy the channel. I hope you enjoy the shorts. I do want to press that those videos are really good if you want to watch them. They're only maybe 26 seconds longer than a minute to the 3 minutes and 34, which was the longest game that I played. I do have a short on it that got like 700 views of 124.5 move game, but the actual full game, which is really fascinating to see how this played out, because during the game, at about the 48th move or 44th move, I realized it was a draw, and it was a U.S. player that was playing, and he had chat open, but he wouldn't respond. And so I asked him like 3 different times, in the 40s, in the 60 moves, in the 90 moves, hey, this is a draw, and he played it out. And actually, I was happy to play it out. I got the marathon badge on chess.com, but it ended up in a draw. And that game is in the Queen's Pawn opening, and there's a short version of it that has a lot of views, and for my channel anyway. And there is a long version of it. It's at 334, I believe, and it only has like 12 to 18 maybe views, but it's a good game, and it was a crazy game. I thought it was going to go on forever. I really did. I was counting down. We had 20 more moves before the 50 move rule, so I was like, oh boy, this is going to go up to 140, and then he accidentally got in a perpetual, and I got lucky, so that it ended early. I was dying. That daily game lasted 3 months. 3 months. So usually, because I'm playing 20 games at a time, I'm playing pretty fast. I look at them 30 seconds, maybe even less than that, to see the position. And I do have tournament experience, and I have been playing since I was 11, and I'm used to simultaneous games. I played in a couple simultaneous games against really good players, like Sergey Kudrin. That was an honor to play, and that was at the Western States Open in 2009. And then in high school, I got to play the top-ranked player in Washington State my junior year, and he played against all the high school players, and the Ferris High School had the number 1 high school player, and I was tied for number 2, and I went to Meade, and then we had the Gonzaga Prep player who I had beaten also in there. And then there was a kid from St. George's who actually in Life or Time magazine back then in 1973 had an article about he was the number 1 rated debate high school student in the nation. This guy was amazing, and he was a great chess player. And so we got to play simultaneous. I can't remember the guy's name. Probably in a box somewhere I have the actual written, notation of the game. It was in old notation back then, so it wasn't E4, D4. It was pawn to king 4, pawn to queen 4. So I've got it probably somewhere, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he was the top-rated player in the state of Washington. Came over, and I think we were in the Bon Marché or the Crescent. I think it was the Crescent in the Skywalks, and there was 30 of us, and the Ferris kid won, and the Gonzaga Prep got a draw, and I was the last game going. I had a 2-pawn advantage. And it's kind of like searching for Bobby Fischer. I looked up and I saw my coach and my dad, and I had gone to St. George's my sophomore year. So it was a really interesting thing. And I was the 5th board on St. George's team, and Meade didn't have a team. So I went to the math teacher, and he sponsored us and he told me to recruit. But the one thing that he said was to get these players and play them and learn with all of them. So no matter what position they were on the board, because it was 5-board chess, so high school chess. There were 11 teams, 11 high schools in the league. So we played 10 home and away games against them. And so this last game with me and him, I looked at him, and it's basically public versus private schools back then, and it was important. And so I put my hand out, and I had a 2-pawn advantage, and everybody thought I was nuts, but probably was. But I offered him a draw, and he said, "You have winning position," and I said, "I know I do, but you know what? It's an honor to play you, and thank you for playing all of us, because I think that's more important than anything. I think respect is huge, but when you get those opportunities, they don't come around often." And so I went and I gave it my all, and I knew I had to win, but the public schools, there was 1 win, 1 draw, and private schools had a draw, and everybody else lost. And so it was an amazing experience. It taught me, humanity, humility, and respect of chess. And so I did what's right, and I would do it again. And so I watched, way later, Searching for Bobby Fischer, and he offers the kid a draw. And I was like, I did that. And, I feel proud of that I did that. And, it's a great experience. But in these board games with the teams, I played St. George's, and I played my king, who's that rated #1 in high school debate nationally. And I knew him. His second board is on my friends list still. We talk quite a bit about chess. And it was a match that he beat me my junior year twice. Went my senior year, and they came to Meade, which is a public school, and I won. And so the second match was in November, and we went up to St. George's, and I basically got chess back to that high school, and they still to today, I think they won a state championship after probably took about 10 or 12 years, but I think they did. But it was an honor, and I didn't know the importance of it when I did it. I just wanted to play. And so I became the #1 board and went against my king. And so it was at St. George's. Math teacher took the van and brought us over there. And I walked in, and over my old locker it said, "Long live the king, Sir James is dead." And it was a big banner. And I was shocked. I walked in, and, Bobby Fischer, Boris Spassky's playing. Chess was big. It was in the newspaper, notation, every game back then. And it was something that I was really surprised at. And my math teacher told the rest of the team, and we had solid 6 guys. One was in sports, so he would play or not play based on challenges. But I was 1648, so probably a little low for #1 board. But the #2 and #3 boards were right behind me in the 1500s. And then the 4th, 5th, and 6th players were also in the 1500s. And so we had a really strong team. And so he told them all to go into the science room and get set up, and asked them to set my board up. And he said he wanted to talk to me, and I was just standing there looking over my locker. I was kind of phased. I just kept looking at it, and I was like, there is no freaking way. What the heck's going on? And he goes, you earned this to be here. You earned this. And you are a better player than him. He is great in debate. He's going to be amazing. I think he ended up going to Harvard. But you have every right to be here. And you look at that banner, and you keep looking at it. And I don't care when you come in, you don't move from this spot until you're ready. And I'll always remember that. My coach, Mr. Griffiths, he was amazing. And I said, okay. And so I took 5-10 minutes, and I looked at that, and I kept looking at it. And I was mad. I was angry, you know. Our levy had failed. That's why I went to St. George's, but there were no sports, and I was in band, so there was no band. So when the levy got reinstated the next year, I went back, you know, to the public school, and I loved it there. And so I came in, I looked at that banner, and I went into that match, and it was done in 20 moves. And I totally tore up his king side, and I used the center opening, and it was over. And he was so upset. There was news there. There was newspapers. There was a lot of people there. And the game was up on a pedestal, and the other games were going on. And even though I had 10 minutes off my clock when I went in, it was over before any of the other games. And he was so upset that he ran out of the room. He wiped the pieces off the board, wouldn't shake my hand. And, you know, I knew the kid. And so he was the third board when I was the fifth board, you know, as a sophomore. So 2 years later. And everybody was kind of, you know, freaked out by it. Everybody was like shocked. And so I followed him. And there was another lab room next to it. And I followed him in where my other coach was in there with him, and he was crying. He felt he let the whole school down. And, you know, it was tough. And I told him, you're the number one rated debate student in the nation. And you're a great chess player. And this is a game, man. And you have the ability to go to whatever school you want and do great things. And there is no regret or despair over this game. It's one game. I'm a good chess player too. And you know what? Hold your head up, you know, because you're an amazing opponent. And everything's going to be okay. And my old coach told me to get out of there when I entered the room. He actually said, get out of there. I said, no, I'm not going. And I got him okay. I got him to relax a bit, and I shook his hand, and everything was okay. But I'll always remember high school chess. I'll always remember the simultaneous games that I was allowed to play in, and that I played against other people. And they were just basically in bars or whatever, and I'd set 4 or 5 boards up and just play them, you know. But chess is a great experience. And so I hope you enjoy the channel. I hope you watch the videos. I hope you're enjoying the shorts. I have a lot of fun making them, and I love the game. And I'm sorry I was gone for the weekend, but it was cold. It was so cold. Help me. No, you know, we're okay, and everybody's going to be fine. So I hope you have a great day, and be safe out there, because anybody in this area, the weather conditions are supposed to be another ice storm tonight, so we're all waiting. So hopefully I won't disappear for another day. Talk to you later, all. Have a great one. Thank you for everything.